So today I'm here with Andrew Brun. He's the owner of ARB Home Inspections here in Orlando. And I just want to say full out, he's done inspections for me personally, my own personal homes, flips that I've done. He's my first call for when I do home inspections. And I just want to give a big shout out to him. He's been a savior for me and saved me thousands of dollars. And I don't skip home inspections. I think I know about walking through a home and what to look for, but I still utilize his services because it's vital and it helps me in negotiation process also. Not only looking out for me and my return on my investment, but he's saved me money, he's protected me, he's taught me vital things about what to look for. So if he's not available, I can at least do that preliminary walkthrough. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've been a vital part of my business all these years. So make sure you don't skip out on home inspections. It's an absolute crucial part of the home purchasing process, whether it's new construction, whether you're flipping a home or you're buying your first home. It's well worth every penny that it costs.
Yeah, I appreciate you, my man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Not a lot of people watching may have never owned a home before. Can you just kind of break down what a home inspection is, what's different about it in Florida? Because a lot of my people that are watching coming here from out of state. Tell me a little bit about the process, what's different, and what services you provide.
Awesome. So yeah, like he said, my name is Andrew with ARB Home Inspections, and we're all about servicing the community. That's the biggest thing that we do. Taking care of people is what we do. And how we do that is by going the extra mile to make sure we know everything that's going on inside that house. So we're looking at your roof, we're looking at your attic, we go into your crawl spaces, we open up your electrical panels, we check underneath the sinks for plumbing, any type of water damage. Especially here in Florida, water damage is a huge thing. So we want to put you guys in the best position to win overall by making sure that you know what you're buying before you get there.
How long does a home inspection usually take, and what should a buyer expect on that day from you?
So your typical home inspection would take anywhere from about 2.5 to 3 hours for an average size house. Like I said, we're just kind of going through all the details to make sure we're thoroughly checking everything for you. Because like you said, you only get a few minutes into it, and they say that love is blind. I think it's true, especially when it comes to home buyers. They're so in love with the house that they don't see what might be going on. It might what prevents them from either getting a mortgage or getting insurance or things of that nature. So we want to put you in the best position to win overall.
Some loan types have very specific inspections that you need to perform.
Correct.
Whether it's the loan type or the insurance company or both.
Yep.
Insurance companies may want what's called a WDO inspection, a wood destroying organism.
Yep.
Or how old is the roof, a 4-point or a wind mitt. These are industry terms, but we can explain those to you if you want to give us a call.
Yeah.
But the lenders may have certain requirements, the insurance companies may have certain requirements. So those are all vital part of the process that you do. And that's what I'm here to do, is try to educate people on don't overlook this, because if you skip it, you might not get the loan. You might not know that for 30 days after you go under contract, then you lose out on the house because you didn't do the inspections.
Yes, sir.
So for those watching and never been through this before, what are some of the biggest mistakes when it comes to home inspections?
So one of the biggest mistakes is that some people just assume just because something is working or is functional that it's going to be insurable or they're going to be able to get a mortgage on it. Like for instance, let's talk about your plumbing for a second. In 90s houses, some houses have polybutylene plumbing. It's known for having an increased failure rate, and a lot of insurance companies won't mess with it. Your electrical panel could be working, but it could be known for being an increased fire hazard, like Federal Pacific panels, Zinsco type panels. So there's all different kind of things that might come up that even somebody that might be a contractor or see that something is working, they don't know that insurance companies don't want it, that FHA mortgage participants can't get it. So these are little things that you just want to look out for to put yourself in the best position.
Right. I've had problems, depending on what my buyers are looking at. If it's a 60s home, 70s home, 80s home, 90s home, 2000 home, it's either electrical in the 60s and 70s, plumbing in the 80s and 90s, Chinese drywall in the early 2000s. So there's kind of something for every decade that we have to look out for. And that's why it's so vital I may know that this house is built in those years, but I can't see behind the walls. I don't know. I'm not going to take apart your electrical panel. That's why we hire an expert to do that.
Yes, sir.
And one kind of misnomer that kind of happens sometimes is people think that they're going to find the root cause of the issue. They can only identify what the problem is, not tell you how to fix it or what caused it, right?
Right, exactly.
Explain that a little bit.
So I like to say we're like primary care doctors. we're going to do a thorough evaluation of the house. We're going to find what defects might be there in the house, but then we're going to send you to a specialist to help you determine maybe what might be causing it and how to get it resolved. Because we're not roofers, we're inspectors, so we know a lot of information about everything, but we don't know all the specifics on how to do it, and we can't do it. Technically speaking, a home inspector is not allowed to do any type of work on a house for at least a year and a day. That's how they prevent people that might be contractors that say, we do inspections, but they only want to really get you to spend extra money on these repairs and all these different other things. So we're looking out for your best interest. I'm your guy to protect you.
So when we get the report back, my job is to kind of go over the report with them, give them my point of view. Can we rely on you to give us help and answer questions that I may not know of? Because sometimes what happens is if I identify a problem when we're doing the initial property walk and viewing the home, I might know, hey, I see stains on the ceiling, there might be a roof leak.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure,
Yep.
but I might use that to negotiate the initial offer price.
Yep.
Or I might wait till the inspection report comes and say, hey, there actually is you did your moisture meter, it's actually active leak. So how to digest a report? Can we count on you after you've performed the work because the report is just words.
Correct.
I don't know how to digest it. It might be industry terms that we don't really know. Can we rely on you to help us go to the next step and learn how to negotiate some of those?
Pretty much, I'm your advisor, and I'm not just here for today or just a transaction. I'm looking to build relationships with everybody that I work with. That's why we've been working together for so long, because we actually have a relationship, and I want to have a relationship with any buyers that come to work with us. So you can call me a day from now, a week from now, and a year from now. I have clients that have called us from years. Hey, can you send me my inspection report from 2023 or whatever? I'll get it to you guys, because we keep a record of that just in case you need it, or you switch insurance companies, you need another copy of it. We want to put you in the best position to win overall. That's my main goal.
Can you kind of help us prioritize, because we want to negotiate. The whole point of doing an inspection is to first protect ourselves from buying a lemon.
Yep.
Second of all, to help negotiate if there is a problem, prioritizing what's something that I can put down the road, and I knew that going into it, versus you need to save money right away because you need to fix this tomorrow, or you're not going to get insurance, or the house could burn down, or you might, if a hurricane comes, we're in hurricane season now.
Yeah.
So if a hurricane comes, you're going to have an issue. So can you help prioritize and let us know how to negotiate?
I actually do that all the time. So one of the things that we do in our reports, it's not just words, because truth be told, we could say all kind of words, and if you're not familiar with buying a house, you're not going to know what we're talking about. So we have photos, we have arrows pointing exactly what's going on, and we have labels underneath those photos explaining what's happening. And our summary, which is at the end of the report, it literally highlights the things in red that you probably want to get fixed now, because we're looking for three things a lot of times. We're looking for things that might be major financial purchases, that might just be safety hazards, or they could prevent you from getting a mortgage or getting insurance. So we want to put you in the best position one way or the other to make sure you know something that could be a major cost or a major defect when it comes to getting insurance, especially here in Florida.
If you're someone moving here from out of state that just wants a piece of advice, what would you give them about buying a Florida home?
Okay, so if you're from out of state, there's a lot of people that work with roofers, and the roofers will say, hey, this roof is going to last you 30 to 40 years. Yes, in another state. In Florida, we got a lot of situations going on. We got hurricanes. We have our sun that burns and bakes the shingles, causing them to wear out and dry out way faster than they should. We have all kinds of things that can damage. Also, you got to factor in, when it comes down to hurricanes, water intrusion. Most people don't realize that 90% of insurance claims come from water damage, and it's not from flooding, it's not from crazy storms. Sometimes it's just the things that get neglected for a long enough period of time that water intrusion starts to happen, and it sits there and it develops mold, and it develops water intrusion, and it just causes damage to all kinds of things. And if you're not aware of it, it can really cause a huge effect to your house. Water intrusion is what causes WDO, termites, and different things that want to enter to the house. So water is a terrible thing to have if it's in the wrong places.
Yeah, a lot of that's just deferred maintenance, right? Because people, it's so hot, so muggy out, or it's raining, and they just forget about the outside of the house because it's block, and they think that it's going to last forever because it's block.
Exactly.
But there are things that that you need to maintain on a yearly basis, just like everything else in your home.
Yeah.
And that's where I see, when I'm doing a walkthrough with a buyer, I'm pointing out all the bad stuff. I see this and this and this. The other day, I was looking at a home was built in 2019. It was empty, and when we walked in, I noticed the baseboards were delaminating from the drywall. And that was a sign for me. Something's wrong there. I didn't know exactly what it was, but then I touched a little bit, I kicked a little bit, and then a little dust started falling out. I'm like, looks to me like termites. I'm not an expert, but those are the kind of things. It's nice when the home's vacant because you can see a lot more. Do you have any tips for when people are walking through a home, what to look for, especially if there's furniture everywhere and we can't see behind the walls, behind the curtains, behind the pictures on the wall, those kind of things?
No, I totally agree with that. I always kind of like to start from the outside in. So even from like a general inspection standpoint, if I'm touching the walls, I'll look for any type of cracks. I even rub the walls with my fingers to see if the paint's chalky, because typically the purpose of the paint is to prevent water from coming from the outside to the inside. Once water starts to get into the inside, it can cause all kinds of things. You can look underneath the cabinets, run the water for a few seconds at the plumbing fixtures, make sure there's actually no leaks. A lot of times people have been living in a house for a long time and nobody looks underneath the sink. They're not paying attention for whatever reason. Just checking little things like that. Even checking out what kind of panels you have, because just because something's working doesn't mean that it's going to be insurable or it's going to be something that's accepted by the mortgage company. So there's certain panels like Federal, Pacific, or Zinsco. Those are known for being an increased fire hazard, which makes it very difficult to get insurance nowadays. So just opening up the panel cover and looking at the brand, you can learn a lot of different things just by a little walk around.
That's vital for us to kind of keep an eye out and stop focusing on the pretty things, the granite countertops and the stainless steel appliances and the crown molding. Is look out, this is an investment. It's probably the biggest purchase you're ever going to make. So don't just get caught up in the pretty things and the view outside and the pool and how you're going to live your life and Thanksgiving dinner at this table. Is know what you're getting yourself into. And some of the things you mentioned, again, we mentioned are kind of decade or year specific. So if you're buying an older home, there's going to be different things to look for. But if you're buying a newer home, don't skip out on the inspection. I have people that buy brand new construction that I urge to do inspections as well, because they're built by humans. These aren't robots, not yet anyhow. AI is coming a long way, but they're not built by robots. So there are mistakes in the drawings. The contractors are doing things according to a drawing, and that drawing may be wrong, and the contractor did it according to the drawing. But there's an issue that this is going to cause problems later on. Once the drywall goes up and you can't inspect behind those walls anymore, that's a trouble. Do you do new home inspections? I'm guess, right? So whether it's a mobile home, a 1960 built bungalow, or a brand new 2-story mansion, anywhere he does it all. If you had to pick one most important thing out of everything to look for in a home inspection, what would it be?
So one of the things that we have down here in Florida that's usually required by insurance companies is a 4-point inspection. And they're looking at the 4 major components of the house, which is the roof, the AC system, the electrical, and the plumbing. So we're checking out all the major 4 components of the house. Of course, we want to check for any type of structural issues, maybe large cracks in the foundation, any type of scenario, especially wood frame house, any types of signs of termites, things like that can cause huge damage. Making sure the AC actually works. Of course, in Florida, we have high water, high dampness, high mold issues. Checking out for mold. Mold is one of those things that you may not always be able to see, but even looking at like the supply vents in the ceiling, of course, we check the evaporator coil as we go a little bit more in depth, but little things like that can go a long way just to make sure that you're safe in the house. And once again, you're not having to come much out of pocket. Also, pools. Make sure you have the pool inspected. Sometimes you could have a crack or a leak going on somewhere, and that is big money here in Florida. So you don't want any leaks going on, so you want to make sure you do a thorough job on those kind of things as well.
Yeah, so that's one thing I do. And again, I'm certainly not a home inspector. I'm not licensed for anything else other than to be a realtor, but I have flipped homes. I do own several homes. I've been in and out of thousands of homes over the years, showing homes. I've seen a lot of the big issues. And when I'm walking through a home with you, whether we're in person or I'm doing it virtually, I do a lot of that too, virtual tours through FaceTime or different apps. I'm looking for your best interests. I'm not showing you all the pretty stuff, I'm showing you the bad stuff too. And I'm gonna look for the pool. I'm going to get down in there and look for cracks. Does it need resurfacing? Because that's 10 grand. I'm not pulling down the air conditioner vents. I'm not pulling down the electrical panel, but I'm looking for what brand it is. I'm looking for how old the AC is. Big ticket items that might scare you off or cost you money after you move in. Those are kind of things I'm looking for pre-inspection. And then I'm going to let Andrew take it over from there. Really, man, I really appreciate all this insight and expertise here. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
All right, so you can always reach out to us at 407 440-1761. Check us out on the website, which is www.arbhomeinspections.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram and all those kind of other ways of reaching out. But either way, like I said, we're here to help. I'm your partner, I'm your teammate. I'm not just part of the transaction, we're about taking care of you. So that's the main thing you need to know about ARB Home Inspections. It stands for always reaching beyond in service in the way we take care of our customers, our clients, and the community.
All right, thanks again, Andrew, for sharing all of this. If you're buying a home here in Central Florida or anywhere in Florida, remember the inspection is not about just passing or failing, it's about knowing what you're buying. So if you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe, drop any comments. I'll make sure Andrew helps me answer them correctly.
Yep.
And whether you use me or not, make sure you do a home inspection and call Andrew, and we'll see you on the other side in the next video.
But you'd be crazy not to use it, I'm just saying.
So Andrew, one of the things I like to do when I end my videos is I like to thank my people and let them know that all this information is on the house, and I kind of give a little cheer. Can you help me do that this time?
All right, cool. Yeah.
All right. And as always, this information is on the house.
Thank God.
As always, this information was on the house. And if you enjoyed this video and yeah, go.